Well, Jumbo, hi there friends. My name is Rachel and I'm going to be your safari guide out there on our 2-week journey through the African Savannah. Now, just a couple of important safety reminders. Just make sure you remain seated throughout the entirety of our journey, keeping those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck at all times, including when we are stopped for those animals. Now, speaking of the animals, when we see them, please don't make any noises like whistling, clapping, or hissing sounds. These noises can actually scare them away instead of bringing them closer, and we want to make sure we get a nice up close and personal look if we can. Alrighty, now let's start our adventure together by making our way into the Little Ituri Forest. So on the left-hand side here, those are the bongos. Bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest since they camouflage very well with their surroundings. And then on the right-hand side, that is the okapi. So you might think that the okapi is related to the zebra because it's got its black and white party pants on, which we'll see here in just a moment. If you look to the right now, you might have a better view of the okapi. But the okapi is actually the only known relative of the giraffe. That's because of the shape of its head and because of the ossicones on the okapi's head. Now, to the left of us, that animal there is the greater kudu. So I can tell that that one was a female greater kudu since it does not have horns. The greater kudu is the second largest antelope here on the reserve. Perhaps in about a week or so, we'll get to see the #1 largest antelope. So on the left-hand side, way toward the back of the wall there's a black rhinoceros. But a little closer to us here, there's another black rhino on the left. So the black rhinoceros is the smaller of the two rhinos here on the reserve. However, it is still the biggest animal in the Ituri forest, weighing in at about 3,000 pounds. So on the right, there's another greater kudu for you, 2 of them. So those are also females. So they measure about 55 inches at their shoulders. So on the left there, that is a saddle-billed stork. So my favorite fact about the saddle-billed stork is that you'll usually find these animals in pairs since they mate for life. Can I get an aww? Now another cool fact about them is they have a wingspan of about 8 to 9 feet. So for reference, that's about as wide as the canopy on this truck. So we are now heading into the Safi River. Some of the animals here at the Safi like to play hide and seek with us in the water. So we might have to look for a little pair of ears or a nose sticking up out of the water. We can also look for big brown rock-like shadows moving throughout the water. These might just be the shadows of the Nile hippopotamus. Is one on the left. See what I mean about hide and seek? There is another one way out there on the left-hand side as well. So Nile hippos, they can hold their breath for about 8 minutes at a time. And they do sleep under the water. So once again, as they're sleeping, they'll just pop their heads up and take that breath about every 8 minutes or so. Now, Nile hippos can weigh up to 5,500 pounds, so it makes sense as to why a group of Nile hippos is called a float. And there on the left, that's the youngest hippo currently on the reserve. Her name is Greta, and she's about 8 months old. So when baby hippos are born, they weigh about 85 pounds. And that's about as much food as the Nile hippos will consume in a day. So when babies are first born, they consume their entire body weight in food. seeing some more trees and some more brush. So that's an indication that we are making our way into the African savanna. But now, speaking of trees, coming up here in just a few moments, on the right-hand side, we'll get a look at the baobab tree. So baobab trees are also called upside-down trees because of the way its branches resemble its roots. Baobab trees can store thousands of gallons of water in their massive trunks for about 9 months out of the year. So during drier seasons, the animals on the savanna will rely on this tree as a water source. That's why the baobab tree is also nicknamed the Tree of Life. So it looks like the first animal we'll get to see on the right-hand side. There are some Harkins Mountain zebras there. So if you've ever wondered whether a zebra was white with black stripes or black with white stripes, you can tell by looking at the coloration on the zebra's nose or muzzle. So most of the zebras here on the reserve have a darker color on their muzzle, which means that they are black with white stripes. But it can be the other way around. And a group of zebras is called a dazzle. Now, I've heard that there's a cave up here on the left-hand side. Don't quite know what we're gonna find there. But it looks like around the cave there are some African wild dogs. So African wild dogs are also called painted dogs because of the beautiful painted patterns on their coats. So there are two of them laying down right there, kind of close to us. So they'll use these painted patterns to help identify one another. And African wild dogs are excellent hunters with a success rate of about 90%. So on the left-hand side, toward where those trees have fallen, those are the sable antelope. So the sable antelope is the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, since just as they are protective over their herds and their young, we are protective over the animals on the reserve. Then there are also some brindle wildebeest. I'll talk about them a little later since they're usually scattered out about the savanna. And of course, on the left-hand side, those are the Maasai giraffes. So the littlest one you see there on the left, that's Humphrey. He's currently a year old. So again, he's the youngest giraffe here on the reserve. Now, Maasai giraffes are known for their jagged and irregular spot patterns. And each spot pattern is unique to each giraffe, just like how our human fingerprints are unique to each one of us. And then on the left-hand side, up on the hill there, those little antelopes are called the springbok. So I like to nickname them the s'mores of the savanna, since they've got that marshmallow on the underbelly, chocolate in the middle, and graham cracker coloring on the top of their coats. But the springbok, their real name, they get this name for their ability to spring 6 feet into the air and 13 feet forward in a motion called cronking. And if a springbok really wanted to, they could cronk right through the center of this safari truck. So on the left, we'll get a better view there of those springbok. And then on the right-hand side and left, we'll get to show the Ankole cattle. So Ankole cattle are known for those horns, which measure about 6 feet from tip to tip. Their horns are made up of a honeycomb structure, which actually allows the Ankole cattle to release excess body heat. Now, Ankole cattle are also called Watusi cattle since they were domesticated by the Watusi people. For the Watusi, the Ankole cattle are a sign of wealth, and they are actually still domesticated to this day. Savannah. So we'll see if there's anything else exciting to find in just a few moments. So on the right-hand side, there is a male African elephant there, so it's kind of tough to see. But on the left, there are some mandrills. Mandrills are known for the red and blue colors on their noses, among other places. And the colors on their noses will actually get more vibrant the more excited they get. There are some more kind of toward the back wall there on the left as well. And mandrills, they have little pouches in their mouths where they can store food for later. Thought I might jinx it talking about how lucky we've been. The road is closed, probably because of that African elephant right there on the right-hand side.